Welcome to MidEast In-Depth, brought to you by Levant TV. Michael Young writes an article in the Daily Star on the recent reactions in Israel following attitudes towards the recognition of the state of Palestine. Young argues that it was a shock to many Israelis that the Spanish parliament recognized the state of Palestine on the day that two Palestinians attacked a synagogue in Jerusalem, killing 4 people. But he says even if the parliamentary resolution was a watered-down version of an earlier proposal, Israeli officials should read the writing on the wall. They are losing the battle of narratives in their conflict with the Palestinians. The Spanish move came only weeks after the Swedish government recognized the Palestinian state, and the British Parliament passed a motion urging the government to recognize the Palestinian state alongside Israel. And 7 European Union or Mediterranean countries have already recognized the Palestinian state, and the French Parliament is expected to do so soon. Young reminds us that most of the resolutions are non-binding and have only symbolic value, but Israeli anger at their passage suggests that officials in Israel grasp the underlying message, which is, as per Young, Israel is increasingly seen as the problem, not as a willing participant in a two-state solution with the Palestinians, so that parliaments throughout Europe feel justified in pushing it in this direction. And now moving on to Iran's nuclear deal, let's see what is happening in the Congress in this piece published in the Los Angeles Times. Paul Richter writes that in its efforts to strike a nuclear deal with Iran, the Obama administration has faced a two-part challenge: forging an agreement in international negotiations and then selling it at home. He says many officials of the 6 world powers that have been negotiating with Iran predict they will not complete all aspects of a comprehensive agreement by the November 24th deadline. Officials say if the meeting cutoff date, if the conveners fail to meet the cutoff date, they may announce some kind of partial agreement, but they also are likely to seek time for further talks, which would leave the White House seeking congressional support for an extension for the second time in 4 months. The administration wouldn't want to disclose full details of the talks for fear it could undermine the diplomacy and provide ammunition for critics who worry that a bad deal would allow Iran to gain bomb-making know-how. And with Democrats controlling the Senate, legislation threatening the diplomacy has been kept in check. But in January, the Republicans take over, opening the way for fights over the Iran negotiations. So far, few signs have emerged that Iran is willing to meet Western demands to disable more than 2/3 of its 19,000 centrifuges, sharply curtail its nuclear research, and maintain those restrictions for more than a decade. Iranian officials, he says, have insisted they would stick to their plans to expand Iran's enrichment capacity tenfold in the next 7 years. A deal is possible only if Western negotiators recognize Iran's entitlement to full legal rights, said Ali Shahbani, the Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, according to the official of Press TV news agency. That was it for today's brief analysis. For more updates, please visit us on Levant.tv. You could also subscribe to MidEast In-Depth on iTunes. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.